What are your thoughts about Neuralink? I think it's probably one of the greatest inventions in human history. Um, if you think about information, the problem that we're constrained with is that evolution has only given us a very limited medium for input. We have our eyes, our ears, we speak, we can touch, and these are fundamentally low bandwidth channels. Imagine having the world's best graphics card, but then using that in a very old port. Like, for example, you plug it into like a USB port or something like that, a USB 2 port or something. No matter how powerful that card is locally, because the communication channel between the card and the computer is so slow, you are bound to that medium. So we think in language, we think in pictures, we think in audio, and these are all low bandwidth in a certain respect. And we haven't invented languages that are higher bandwidth. There's been some attempts to do that. Now, and like the Sapir-Whorf hypothesis talks about this. But anyway, Neuralink is saying we're going to now drill a hole into your head. We're going to put wires into your brain, somehow make that work and not kill you or make you crazy. And then suddenly you can now utilize a high bandwidth channel that is potentially 3 to 5 orders of magnitude higher than the channel that you use for speech, for hearing, touch, these types of things. And the power of this is that if it works, it means you can take a very complex concept like, I don't know, Weinstein's theory of everything, or Einstein's general theory of relativity or something. It's a super complex concept that would take months of difficult study to understand the basic concepts of, and then package that in a new way and transmit it to somebody and have them get it in a way that's 1,000 times, 10,000 times, 100,000 times faster. That's the hypothesis of Neuralink at its core, everything else aside. Now, this is generation 10, generation 20 of the technology. But if you look at the evolution, like cell phones, you get a new generation every 18 to 24 months. So generation 10 is 240 months. That could be 20 years from now. And there's already a population where you get to play with that everybody's okay with that. There are millions of people in the world that are quadriplegics, paraplegics, severe epileptics, neural problems with their hands, other things, that these devices will be able to be a therapeutic intervention, just like deep brain stimulation is for people with Parkinson's and so forth. And it's a therapeutic intervention that's significantly better than the incumbent technology. So there's a very strong biomedical incentive for implanting this in a cohort that will give you all of the data that you need to get to generation 2 and generation 3. And eventually there'll be generation X, which goes from medical to recreational. Recreational means you go from thousands and tens of thousands, high expense, to millions, low expense, and they're implanted. Okay. If you do that, that's a game changer because they can be easily inserted, easily removed. And every 24 months, people will start upgrading these links just like they do their cell phones. It's inevitable at that point for these high bandwidth information channels to work. And you say, well, what can I do with it? Access control, passwords, identity management. You can basically telepathy. You can think and then communicate to other people like that. And it's trans language. So you can do empathy, send emotions to people. There's really no limit. You can control a computer with your mind. So you could think to type. So you're just thinking and words appear on your Word document. It's pretty insane. You can control lights in your smart home. So you can open your door. You have almost telekinesis in this respect. It's really crazy what Neuralink has the potential to do. What makes me most excited about Neuralink is how quickly they've been able to iterate their technology. How many chips? They've done over 12 chip designs in 36 months. Being in the hardware business ourselves, it's like we fully appreciate that that is a very, very exceptional thing. And they have a very good team at that company. So it's one of those technologies that that I've been watching with an incredible amount of anticipation. I will not be a first generation tester, but none of you will be, because it's a medical device in the first generation. But certainly over time, that device will be very important to bring in. Now, that said, there are substantial security concerns. There are substantial concerns about privacy. This is not a technology that society is prepared for. Much like when CRISPR came out, it created a revolution in bioengineering. And people were saying, well, wait, in 20 or 30 years, this technology could be used to make bioweapons in a small lab at a very low cost with people who have moderate skill sets, instead of a giant government lab, super high skill sets, very expensive. Okay. So barriers to entry go down, cost goes down. And what does that functionally mean? It means that you can do really horrible things on the asymmetrical side. So super careful about this technology. And there's a big wisdom gap with it. So we must approach it cautiously.